Hey guys, Trip Chikuti here from Spinewise, and I want to talk to you today about lifting postures, because we all hear these different things about lifting postures, and we've talked about, keep your back straight, bend your knees, all these kind of things, but from a functional, everyday back pain kind of issue, not pathology, but actual just general low back pain, these aren't the most common reasons that we see for getting low back issues when lifting. They're definitely important when it comes to rupturing discs and things like this, but not actually one of the more common causes of low back pain. So the most common cause of low back pain that we see is dysfunctional ligament called your iliolumbar ligament. So your iliolumbar ligament is a little ligament that runs across this area here. It goes from your innominate up here across to the bottom part of your spine. And what it does is, as you walk and these things move, the spine rotates, and as it rotates, it actually rotates with the ligament that has a big role in that rotating. So one of the things that often happens is we can sprain this ligament, and as you sprain this ligament, we start losing function of these joints. And as those joints go down in their function, the net result of that is this constant achiness that goes through the lower back. And it has actually nothing to do with bending your knees and things like that. It's actually a very key thing that we do after we've lifted that seems to trigger off most of those issues. And the big reason for that is its extension, leaning back, that seems to create so much problem for people. So if I'm going to lift this spine up off the bench, if I bend my knees, keep my back straight and come up, all right, that's all fine and dandy. The big thing I really want to talk about is what happens after that. So if I pick this up, and let's say it's a little bit heavy, my next tendency is to kind of lean back and counterbalance that spine, so that weight. Even more so, if I'm trying to get it up onto a high ledge, what I'll tend to do is this, and then extend to pick it up and lift it over. And that actually, if you look at my lower spine, does this type of thing. It's extension coming through here. And this is where we often see the low back pain start. It's not the actual lifting process itself, it's what happens once you're up in that position, that extension that comes as you're carrying stuff away to where it should be, that seems to create all those issues. So we need to make sure that once we've actually lifted it and we're moving on, that's where we've got the weight and that's where we need to be straight. The other one that often happens is when you're lifting kids, and especially to new mums. Hey, Will, can I borrow you for a sec? Can you come here? No, you're not going to come here? Oscar, there's no way in the world I'm lifting you. Man. You're too big, too heavy. Alright, come here, Will. So, turn around, face me. So, when we lift kids, we bring them up and see straight away my tendency is to arch back. We put them on our hip and look how I stand. Can you see that arch in that lower back when I stand that way? This arch, this extension in this area, this is what damages those ligaments. So you can get away with this very easy. So depending on which hip you're carrying them on, so I've got Will here on my right hip. What I'll do is I'll drop my right leg a little bit backwards, half a step back, and by doing that, now when I go to extend back, there's weight on my right front hip. If I move them onto my left hip, which is how most parents carry their kids for some reason, but we move on to the left side, now you can see I'm slightly arching back again. If I bring my left leg backwards, and it's a bit hard to see on the camera there. Hey Oz, can you tilt the camera down for me, sweetheart? Sorry, this is live and we're kind of struggling a little bit here. That's it. So all I'm going to do is take a step back on that left leg. Now I can't lean back. A bit too low, sweetheart. If I lean back a little bit like this, now all of a sudden there's tension on the front of my left hip. So here you can see there's tension here. So I get a stretch which stops me from going back further. So holding in here now if I go to bring it back, I can't actually arch my back at all. And this is a key way that parents can stop themselves doing any issues. Can you pick the camera back up? Okay, so one of the things, a little bit down, dude.
Sorry.
Looking at the ceiling. There we go. So one of the things that we want to do with this, if you're a new mum especially, when you're carrying your kids, make sure we're staying up straight. Don't arch back and lean back. This is where you're going to do the back. If you're picking things up from the floor, pick you up. And we're carrying, we need to make sure we stay square and then we're not kind of carrying this way. If we're going to lift things onto a ledge, make sure we're lifting up and moving and not doing this to lift them up. It's that extension which creates so much issue in the lower spine for so many people. Okay, so there's a quick tip for you in terms of trying to free up back pain and stopping it from becoming an issue in the first place. Lifting techniques are really, really important, but they're not necessarily the way you think they are important. Extension is a much, much bigger problem. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. This is Will, I'm Trev. Catch you in the next vid. Bye for now.